Okay, good evening, everyone. I hope all of you are doing fine. Welcome to today's session. The agenda for today's class is error spotting. Few sentences will reflect on the screen, and you have to identify the errors in those sentences. The errors could be pertaining to modifiers, parts of speech, tense errors. So I'll give you a minute or so, and then we can have a discussion in the chat box. So let's start with the first sentence. Covered in mud, Mark helped the puppy. Covered in mud, Mark helped the puppy. Okay, so first let's try to identify the type of error. This is a misplaced modifier error. This is a misplaced modifier error. Covered in mud is followed by Mark. So was Mark covered in mud? Obviously not. The puppy was covered in mud, and so Mark helped the puppy. Now, please remember that we need to place the modifier closest to the word it is modifying. We need to place the modifier closest to the word it is modifying. Here, covered in mud is modifying the puppy and not Mark. Mark was not covered in mud. The puppy was covered in mud. So, covered in mud, the puppy was helped by Mark. Covered in mud, the puppy was helped by Mark. This is a misplaced modifier error. We need to place the modifier closest to the word it modifies. Let's have a look at the second sentence. We will return back on Monday. We will return back on Monday. Okay, here the use of back is unnecessary and incorrect. Return itself means to come back from some place. So we will come back on Monday. We do not need to add back after return. So we will return on Monday. We will return on Monday. Next sentence. It's a bit early, is it? It's a bit early, is it? Here, whenever we have a positive statement, This is a positive statement. This is an affirmative statement, right? The question tag associated with it should be a negative question tag. It should be a negative question tag. So it's a bit early, isn't it? It's a bit early, isn't it? When we have a positive statement, the question tag would be negative, and when we have a negative statement, then the question tag would be positive. Though he is rich, but he is kind. Though he is rich, but he is kind. Please identify the error in this statement. Okay. So we will not use but here with though. We tend to use yet. Though he is rich, yet he is kind. You're kind of giving a reason for him to not be kind or to be pompous, but even though he is rich, he is kind. So, though he is rich, yet he is kind. Not but, yet. He does nothing but to find faults with others. He does nothing but to find faults with others. Anyone? Okay. When we have used, sorry, when we have used does nothing, he does nothing, she does nothing, we do not need to add to after but. He does nothing but find faults with others. We do not need to use to here. This sentence would make perfect sense without to being placed here. Okay, let's have a look at the next sentence. The ring as well as necklaces are available at the shop. The ring as well as necklaces are available at the shop. Subject verb agreement. Okay, let me add the here. Let me add the here. Is the sentence correct now? Let me add the here. The ring as well as the necklaces. Is the sentence correct now? It's still incorrect. We have discussed when we were discussing subject verb agreement, whenever two subjects are connected with, together with, along with, and as well as. Okay, whenever two subjects, they are connected with, together with, along with, or as well as, the subject that comes before these phrases would be the primary subject, and we are going to consider the primary subject while deciding our verb. So here, the ring is my primary subject. This is invisible to me right now. This is invisible to me right now. It could be a singular subject, it could be a plural subject. It doesn't matter. My primary subject here is singular, the ring. We are talking about one ring. So the verb that we are going to use is also going to be a singular verb form. If my primary subject would have been plural, then I would have used a plural verb form. But because my primary subject is singular, I am going to use a singular verb form. So instead of are, it should be is. Instead of are, it should be is. Let's have a look at the next sentence. Unless you do not pay the fine, you will not be excused. Unless you do not pay the fine, you will not be excused. What is the error in this statement? Okay, what should be the correct statement? Yes, correct. So unless in itself is posing a condition, right? It is posing a condition that if you do not pay the fine, you will not be excused. So unless sorry about that, unless you pay the fine, unless you pay the fine, it itself means that if you do not pay the fine, you will not be excused. So it is already posing a condition. You do not need to add this here. Unless you pay the fine, you will not be excused. Next statement. When learning how to box, the technique is of utmost importance. When learning how to box, the technique is of utmost importance. Any guess, any idea, any vague idea would also do. When represents a specific point in time. When represents a specific point in time. Do you learn how to box in just one moment? Can you specify that particular moment? Can you specify that particular instance? It will take some time for you to learn how to box, right? It would take some time. So we need to represent a duration here and not a specific point in time, can you tell me what the answer should be now? I've given you a hint. We need to represent that entire duration and not one specific instance. Yes. While. While. While learning how to box, the technique is of utmost importance. Next, the trousers is missing. The trousers is missing. Yes, entities that have two parts would take up a plural verb form. The trousers are missing. The glasses are missing. Next, mathematics are a difficult subject. Mathematics Yes, whenever we are talking about any subject, we will use a singular verb form. Mathematics is a difficult subject. Next, the taste of these cookies, you have to choose between is and are. The taste of these cookies dash different from the others. Good Shaurya, good Parthav. Sanil is also answering. Yes, so please do not get confused while looking at cookies and thinking that, oh, cookies represents a plural subject. No, here your subject of interest is taste, and taste here is singular. So the taste of these cookies is different from the others. Please do not confuse yourselves. We are not looking at this. This could be singular, this could be plural. We don't care about that. This is what we are looking at. Okay, the taste of these cookies is different from the others. Next, everyone, including the manager, have attended the seminar. Yes. Yes, everyone would take a singular verb form, and this is our primary subject here. So everyone, including the manager, has attended the seminar. Next, if I will visit London, I will meet you. If I will visit London, I will meet you. Yes, words like if, when, as, soon as would take up simple present. If I visit London, I will meet you. When I visit London, I will meet you. As soon as I visit London, I will meet you. So, I'm going to remove will from this sentence. If I visit London, simple present, I will meet you. Next, although it was raining, but we went to the market. Let me add the here so that you do not say that that is the error. Yes, good. Although, again, itself poses a conditional, we do not need to add but. We do not need to add but. Although it was raining, comma, you will keep the comma though. Although it was raining, we went to the market. That's it. You could say we still went to the market. That is also correct. But if you do not have to add anything, you just need to remove one word. Then if we remove but, the sentence is perfectly fine. Next, this is the most unique dress. This is the most unique dress. Yes, we discussed this in the last session or in the last to last session. I do not remember clearly, but words like unique, perfect, ideal, complete, they would not take a superlative form because they are already in their superlative forms. An ideal situation is already a situation that is the best possible situation right now. You cannot use a superlative degree with that. So, this is a unique dress. This is, I'm not going to use most, I'm not going to use more. This is a unique dress. Okay, next. Smith and me went to the mall. Smith and me went to the mall. Subjective and objective pronouns. Subjective and objective pronouns. Yes. I is a subjective pronoun. Subject is the doer in a sentence, and me is an objective pronoun. Object, the receiver in a sentence. So here, Smith and this person, they performed the action of going to the mall. So they represent the doer in the sentence. And so I cannot use an objective pronoun here. This has to be the subject of the sentence. This has to be the subject of the sentence. I cannot use an objective pronoun here. Please remember, Smith and I went to the mall. Smith and I went to the mall. Next, it is Smith's and Peter's car. It is Smith's and Peter's car. Yes, it is their car. No, not exactly. We do not need to transform the entire sentence. And for someone who does not have any prior reference or context, who is there here? Yes, whenever you're showing simultaneous possession by two subjects, whenever you're showing simultaneous possession by two subjects, you do not need to add an apostrophe s to the first one. You do not need to add an apostrophe s to the first one. If you add it to the second subject, that would suffice. Okay, so it is Smith and Peter's car. It is Smith and Peter's car. Next, the salad is a healthier alternate. The salad is a healthier alternate. Yes. Again, the difference between alternate and alternative. Alternate is used when you need to represent something that is regularly occurring after the other. Alternate turns, right? So first my turn will come and then your turn will come. That is alternate. Alternative means another option. Alternative means another option. So salad is a healthier alternative. The salad is a healthier alternative. Another option. Next, there should be no furnitures in my room. You have to identify the part of the sentence that has an error. A, B, C, or if there is no error, you can choose D as well. There should be no furnitures in my room. Can you, okay, part B, what is the error exactly? What is the error? What is the error in part B? It will not be furnitures. Furniture can be used to represent to many furniture, plural. So we do not need to add an S. Furniture is perfectly fine. Next, even though he found the subject rather interesting, Raghu could not manage good marks in the examination. No error. Even though he found the subject rather interesting, Raghu could not manage good marks in the examination. Okay, please remember, whenever you're talking about positive or even neutral situations for that matter, whenever you're talking about positive or neutral situations, you should use fairly. Here, interesting is a positive connotation. It's a positive comment. So, even though he found the subject fairly interesting, if I replace interesting with, let's say, boring, now I could say, even though he found the subject rather boring. Now I could say, even though he found the subject rather boring. So whenever I'm talking about something in a positive or a neutral light, I would use fairly. And if I'm talking about something in a negative light, I would use rather. Okay? So even though he found the subject fairly interesting. Next, Mr. Sharma, our representative, will attend the meeting on our behalf. No error. Mr. Sharma, our representative, will attend the meeting on our behalf. No error. Yes. Will attend the meeting में क्या problem है? It's perfectly fine. The sentence has no error. It has no error. Good Parthav, good Shaurya. Next, the board of directors want the facilities of car and accommodation for itself, no error. The board of directors want the facilities of car and accommodation for itself, no error. Please mention the error as well, along with mentioning the part in which the error is present. Please mention the error as well, the correction as well. The board of directors want the facilities of car and accommodation for themselves. For themselves. The board of directors want the facilities of car and accommodation for themselves. Next, he ordered as if he was my master, no error. He ordered as if he was my master, no error. Please mention the error as well. If, okay, I'll give you a hint. There is an error. It's a very trivial error if you must, but there is an error. I'll give you a clue. We are talking about an imaginary or a hypothetical situation. We are talking about something that is not real, something that has not happened in reality, but something that could possibly happen, an imaginary or a hypothetical situation. No. Whenever we're talking about an imaginary or a hypothetical situation, we say or we use were. If I were you, I would never forgive her. He ordered as if he were my master. If I were the queen of the world, I would do this, I would do that. So whenever you're talking about any hypothetical or imaginary situation, we will, please remember that you should, this is a very common error that students tend to make. You will not use was. Instead, you will use were. Okay? Next, the merit of these books are known to everyone. No error. The merit of these books are known to everyone. No error. Yes, again, my primary subject, merit. Please do not confuse with books as the main subject. Books here is not my main subject. Merit is. And merit is singular. Merit is singular. So the merit of these books is known to everyone. The merit of these books is known to everyone. Identify the main subject in a sentence, and you're never going to make an error pertaining to subject verb agreement. Next, the teacher told us that we should remain in the hostel if it rains, no error. Again, a very, very, very trivial error. Something which is very common to miss at first glance. So the teacher told us that we should remain in the hostel if it rains. Should, must, that's fine. In the hostel is also fine. Please identify the tense of the sentence and see if parallelism is being maintained or not. The teacher told us, past. You're talking about a past event. The teacher is not telling you right now. The teacher told you already in the past. So the teacher told us that we should remain in the hostel. This is a suggestion that the teacher gave. If it rained. If it rained. The teacher told us that we should remain in the hostel if it rained. Next, by this time tomorrow, she had reached there. By this time tomorrow, she dash. Here has had is written, but obviously it's not correct. By this time tomorrow, she has had reached there. Yes, by this time tomorrow, she will have reached there, would have reached there, must have reached there. Yes, all the options are correct. Good. Next, a recent survey indicates that the number of drug addicts grew day by day. No error. Okay, one option could be, if I change this to indicated, a recent survey indicated that the number of drug addicts grew day by day. But if I tell you that you cannot change this, indicates would remain as is. Indicates would remain as is. Now, what change would you make to the sentence? Okay. Should it be are growing day by day, or should it be is growing day by day? Should it be are growing day by day, or should it be is growing day by day? Please remember this always. इस चीज को हमेशा याद रखना. Whenever you're talking about number of anything, number of, ठीक है? number, singular. Number of followed by plural also is growing. Whenever you have number of in a sentence here, this is your subject, because what is growing? The number is growing. The number is growing. So, a recent survey indicates that the number of drug addicts is growing day by day. Next, one must use his best efforts if one wishes to succeed. No error. We have done such, we have already in many sessions we've covered such sentences. So I'm hopeful that this would be an easy one for you guys. One must use his best efforts if one wishes to succeed. No error. This is an easy one. One must use one's. One must use one's best efforts if one wishes to succeed. No error. ठीक है? He must use his best efforts if he wishes to succeed. Good. But one must use one's best efforts if one wishes to succeed. Next, the enmity between the two groups had reached a level where reconciliation has become impossible. या तो दोनों को हैज कर दो या तो दोनों को हैड कर दो. One with has, one with had will not make sense. Okay? Tense error. One with has, one with had will not make sense. Okay? That brings us to the end of today's session. Thank you so much, everyone, for joining in, and keep revising. Just an example of a few questions that you can expect in the exam. And thank you so much once again. Keep revising, keep studying, and I'll see you in the next class. Bye-bye and take care.